We're going to call to order the council meeting for Wednesday, August 3rd of 2016. If we could all stand for a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Thank you. Madam Secretary, may I please have roll call?
Marlon Milner, Olivia Brady, Valerie Scott Cooper, Heather Lewis, Hakeem Jones, Derek Perry, Sonia Sanders.
Here. Would a council member like to make a motion to approve the meeting council minutes from July 19th of 2016? All in favor? Those meeting minutes are approved. Earlier this evening, council had executive session pertaining to litigation. Mr. Jones, do we have any presentations this evening? Thank you. Vice President Perry, do we have any announcements this evening?
Water ice with a cop. What is Wednesday? Thursday between 6 and 8. 600 block of Green Street. That's it. Anybody else have anything?
Yes, I have an announcement. There's actually the second go-around for Read with a Cop on Tuesday, August 9th from 9 to 11:30 a.m. at DeKalb Day School. Councilman Jones, do you have any announcements?
No.
Thank you. Madam Secretary, do we have any public comments this evening?
Yes. Andre Scurry. You can go up.
Hi, could you please state your name and your address, please?
Andre Scurry, 18 East Elm Street, Norristown, PA.
Thank you.
My concern is the bench in front of my church on DeKalb Street. I came down here several times to talk about it. I don't want it like removed totally. I just need it removed from in front of the church's front door. It's causing a problem. Next door to us is La Roma's, and they sell beer and cigarettes and all that. And as soon as they come out, they come sit on that bench, and it's causing a problem between the parishioners that go to the church. It's just an eyesore, and they're ignorant, and they be drunk, and it's actually not of God. So I would like for it to be moved either direction, but just not directly in front of the church.
Okay, I will have, Mr. Jones, will you have Thomas take care of that?
Yes.
From Public Works? Thank you.
Sorry. Apostle Larry Owen.
Good evening. I'm Larry Owens, 28 Tanglewood Drive, Swanksville, Pennsylvania. And my concern is about the resolution 16134 concerning the transfer of the eating place to a liquor place. And we just found out about it, but some of our members are here in disapproval of that. And I don't know if this is the right venue right now to speak of this, but that's why I'm here.
Yes, sir. It is the correct venue to speak of it, and we actually do have that item on the agenda.
Okay. So there will be more discussion?
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
Shirley Waters.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
My name is Shirley Waters, and my address is 235 East Marshall Street, Norristown. I'm speaking to you about Green Street open space. We fought for this because this alleyway was a place where they used to park, and prostitutes was in there. So the borough did a good job of trying to repave it for me. In fact, I had the plan that was done, but right there on East Marshall Street and 200 block, we don't have anywhere to park on Tuesday. We used to park over here, but they made it so, and they said that they would have slots there, and on Wednesday, we would be able to park over there. The people on Chestnut and Green Street have two sides. They're using that area. They're using it for a trucking business, is parking their trucks out there, and we still don't have anywhere to park. And they also they have a paved alley, and it's supposed to be a paved alley and emergency vehicle access. And they said that we cannot park our cars in that alley. They're constantly parking the cars in there. We have neighbors that have taken over the bottom half of it. They have parties out there. They put tables out there. You know, I mean, if they're going to do that, I think they should pay the borough to rent the parking lot, that area. They're doing it every weekend and several times during the week. They play the music so loud, and on that block is seniors. We done paid taxes here for all this time, and they play the music so loud that we're in our bedroom, in our front room, and we can't even hear the TV without putting them up real loud to overcome all that. And it's like nobody's paying attention. We keep calling, and nobody's coming out there. They're parking all up and down that emergency. And they even barbecue in their yard, and everybody's out there in that alleyway partying. And it's supposed to be an emergency area. If it's okay for them to park, why can't we park our cars out there? Homeowners, we were homeowners right there on that block. We would like some help from the borough on this. We called, and they were parking out there even in our handicap spaces in this area, and we can't even park there. So we would like some help.
Thank you, Ms. Waters. Chief Talbot, if you could, perhaps we would get some information from you later in order to assist you with this.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's it.
Madam Secretary, do we have any communication this evening?
No, we don't.
Thank you. Next order of business is from the Municipal Solicitor, which is Resolution 16-134.
Thank you very much, Madam President. 16134 is a resolution to approve or disapprove the transfer of the eating liquor license number E4979 to 548 DeKalb Street, La Roma's Pizzeria. We have the attorney for the applicant here, Mr. Goldstein, if he wanted to give a brief presentation.
Sure. Good evening, Council. My name is Matthew Goldstein. I'm here tonight representing Ant and Shell Incorporated, which is the corporate owner for La Roma Pizzeria. We've applied for the intermunicipal transfer of Eating Place Retail Dispenser License E4979 from Upper Moreland Township into Norristown. My client has been at the location for 18 years, I understand, as the owner there. What he's doing and what makes this transfer a little bit different is that he currently is licensed there. He currently has a full privilege restaurant liquor license that permits him to sell liquor, wine, and beer. And he's going to be selling that. Matter of fact, we've already engaged in our public hearing. He's selling that license into Montgomery Township and replacing that with a beer-only license. So he's actually trading down to a lesser privileged license. And we're just asking for the council's consent and approval for him to do that. Again, it would be, in effect, lessening the privilege of selling alcohol, liquor, and wine from that location.
Is he changing the inside of his business at all?
No change whatsoever.
What are his hours of operation for liquor sales?
Right now, he voluntarily only sells beer, but I don't know his current hours. I only know that he's been there for 18 years. He's not changing his hours. All he's doing is giving up the privilege of selling wine and hard alcohol.
Council members, any discussion, questions? Councilwoman Brady.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Goldstein, for explaining that. Could you clarify a little bit on the reason as to why he's lessening his license to sell only beer?
Sure, two reasons. One is he doesn't need it. He currently only sells beer. Two is that there is a higher value on the full privileged restaurant liquor license, so he is selling it for more money than he is paying for the beer license. That's all. Otherwise, he's not changing his operation one bit.
So just for clarity purposes and for those that are in the audience, again, this resolution is to reduce the liquor license portion.
That is
of the
correct.
license.
He
Correct.
currently is permitted to sell liquor, wine, and beer. He will be giving up the right to sell liquor and wine.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Councilman Jones.
Can people hear you? You got to speak for me.
I'm going to have to speak for you.
Okay. No, I just wanted the community to have a clear understanding of what was going on. Because me personally, as a council person, I wasn't 100% clear on whether this resolution was going to either help the community or put us in a position where we were bringing liquor into the community. So I kind of wanted the issue to come before the community to give them clarification, which was just given to us.
Okay, thank you. And, I'm sorry, go ahead.
And I guess I have another question regarding the sale of alcohol in regards to location from a church. Is that something our solicitor can answer, or is that something he has to get back to us on?
What was your exact question, Councilman Jones? I apologize.
I don't know the validity of it, but is there an ordinance that forbids you to serve liquor within a certain range of a church?
Maybe Mr. Goldstein could comment to that. The PLCB is the one that dictates that, and PLCB, the Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board, their legislation pretty much preempts all local ordinances related to that. I don't know if Mr. Goldstein can comment as to the location of a liquor license in a church.
The rule is when an application is filed to put a new license at a location, the liquor board considers what they call restrictive institutions within a distance of 300 feet. That would be churches, schools, public playgrounds, charitable institutions. But that's at the time that the license moves into that location for the first time. And at that time, it apparently was, if there were any restrictive institutions, they would have been considered by the board, and the board decided to issue the license. In this particular situation, because the premises is already licensed, even though a different license is moving into the location, there's case law, which I can provide more detail on in the future, called Herman Brothers, that provides, as long as a premises is continuously licensed, that even though a new license is coming into the space, it's to be treated as what they call a person-to-person transfer, which the only valid objection at that point is the character and reputation of the individuals.
So to that point, so if council was to reject this resolution, it is possible that the license board could actually override what we say.
Yeah, the appeal would be to the Montgomery County Court of Common Pleas, and unless if municipal council or the public was able to put some evidence on the record related, as Mr. Goldstein talked about, related to the character or reputation of the owner, then likely a court would reverse this council's decision to turn down.
Thank you. I just wanted the folks in the audience to have an understanding of where this and where this was going and how this plays out in the event that council was to reject this resolution. Councilman Perry.
How long has La Roma's had this liquor license?
My client has been the owner at that location for 18 years. He tells me that...
I know it switched hands.
I'm sorry?
It switched hands at one time, but...
Yes, he purchased the existing licensed business 18 years ago.
Okay.
I don't know how long it was there before him.
So at that time, I'm not sure how long the church has been there, but at one time, in regards to the rules or the law that you're saying, council could have rejected it at that time.
At that time, council could have, and the liquor board could have as well. The first time a license moves into a new location is when the board considers what they call proximity and health and welfare issues, because again, it's a place that previously was unlicensed, now it's becoming licensed. That's when the health and welfare issues are considered by the board and the municipality. In this case, the premises is already licensed. We're actually decreasing the privilege.
Councilwoman Brady.
Thank you. I understand that during the course of a lifetime for a liquor establishment, that the PLCB occasionally inspects them on maybe a 2 to 3 year basis. During the time when they inspect them for the reapplication of liquor licenses, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, but at that time they look at the various activities that the establishment has and any negative impacts to the community. In your understanding and expertise on the background of this establishments, have you identified any negative actions that the establishment has caused in terms of community disturbances in that area that have been caused directly from the sale of liquor to patrons from that business?
Only one. In the 18 years that my client's been there, he's received one citation, which is not from the Liquor Board, but from the Pennsylvania State Police Bureau of Liquor Control Enforcement. They enforce the liquor laws. He had one citation in 2011 and paid a $1,000 fine, and it was actually a controlled, it wasn't to an ordinary patron, it was a controlled situation where the state police brought in a minor purposely with a fake ID, and there was a sale to that minor, but no other events that I'm aware of.
Okay, and as a follow-up question, I would like to hear from our chief to see if whether or not there have been a lot of activity at that particular location.
We've had some incidents in and around the location, but nothing that would make me think that what we have would put their liquor license in danger.
Thank you.
And Councilwoman Lewis.
Prior to the 18 years that this owner has it, was there a liquor license there prior to 18 years? Like, did it transfer when he took over, so there was a liquor license prior to the 18 years when he had it?
Yes, when he purchased 18 years ago, he purchased the business and the license.
And the full license?
Correct.
Any additional questions? Would a member of council like to make a motion to approve Resolution 16-134?
So moved.
Got a question again.
Motion remains on the floor. Question by Councilman Perry.
So once again, this is to get rid of it. To get rid of it.
Yes, that's correct. This is to reduce, it's not to get rid of it.
The liquor and wine.
It's to reduce the privilege. No liquor, no wine. So if the resolution were rejected this evening, then my client would have the ability to continue to sell liquor, wine, and beer from that location.
So moved.
Madam Secretary, may I please have roll call?
Olivia Brady. Valerie Scott Cooper. Heather Lewis. Hakeem Jones. Derek Perry. Sonia Sanders.
Aye. Resolution 16-134 is approved.
Thank you.
Next order of business we have is the stipulation and order of the settlement agreement. If we could just have a brief summary of what that pertains to, Mr. Solicitor.
Yes, thank you very much, Madam President. We had the DiBernardos located at 431 Warren Street in Norristown filed an assessment appeal. As council is well aware, the school district collects the lion's share of property taxes here in Norristown and everywhere else. So the school district solicitor usually litigates the case. The school district, Norristown Area School District, came to a settlement whereby the assessment for this property would be reduced from $70,250 to $60,490, resulting in a $9,760 difference. This would require both Montgomery County and Norristown to refund the taxpayer some money. Norristown would have to refund the taxpayer $123.96, being the fact that it would cost much more for my office to litigate this matter. It was my recommendation that council agree with the school district and settle the matter.
Thank you, Mr. Solicitor. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, would a member of council like to make a motion to approve the stipulation and order of settlement agreement? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion passes. Next order of business we have is from the Municipal Administrator, and we'll begin with Resolution 16-135. If you could, please, Mr. Jones, explain a little bit about what that resolution involves.
Thank you, Madam President. Council members, as you know, one of the roles that the municipal manager plays is to serve as municipal secretary to the council. And officially, I am the record keeper to the council, maintainer of records, ordinances, etc. How we manage that administratively and have done so through the years is that as a staff member, generally the administrative executive assistant to the manager that serves as assistant municipal secretary, so that the administrative duties related to collecting and cataloging those minutes and other documents, official documents, as well as doing the administrative portion of receiving open records requests, or right-to-know requests, as they're called in Pennsylvania, and other things, are administratively handled out of my office. As council also knows, my former executive assistant was Sandy Grubb. Sandy retired, I guess a couple of months ago, and we since have hired Catherine Iwanowitz as executive secretary, and this request through resolution is that council appoint Catherine as assistant municipal secretary so that she can undertake those duties that are assigned to the executive assistant of the manager.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Any questions from council? If not, I'm sorry, was there a motion on the floor for that?
No.
Not yet. Would a member of council like to make a motion to approve Resolution 16-135?
So moved.
Madam Secretary, may I please have roll call?
Olivia Brady, Valerie Scott Cooper, Heather Lewis, Hakeem Jones,
Aye.
Derek Perry, Sonia Sanders.
Aye. Resolution 16-135 carries. Mr. Jones, next order of business we have is Resolution TE-160. If you could, please provide us with a brief summary of that resolution.
Absolutely. As council may recall, back in March, there were several documents we brought from the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation that were related to some maintenance agreements along Lafayette Street. And those agreements were approved by council, passed by council, and we subsequently signed the documents, sent them to the Department of Transportation. At some point between that point and now, the Department of Transportation created an additional form that they required to be submitted as a part of the record, and that form requires council to pass a resolution that authorizes the manager to sign the documents, even though you already authorized me to sign the documents. And so by resolution, so we have to pass their resolution, which that goes along with their form TE 160. And so this is a request for council to approve that resolution that authorizes the manager to sign the documents related to those maintenance agreements on behalf of the council.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Any questions? Councilman Perry?
With the document being signed, where do we have any areas where we think that traffic signals should go?
As you're aware, did I say Lafayette Street? I'm sorry. I think this is the next phase of
DeKalb.
Markley. I'm sorry. Next phase of Markley. So this is the signals that are currently at Markley now. This is just really to go through the upgrade process. They're going to upgrade all of those signals at the intersections between Markley and Main Street and the bridge. And this is, as we did with that first section of Markley, this is just us as routine that every municipality has to do. Once they install the equipment and make the improvements, we become responsible for them. So other than upgrading the existing intersections, there won't be any new installations of lights.
Okay. Is there an opportunity through this to get a light somewhere where it's needed at any time?
I don't know in terms of this particular portion, the roads. The project has already been engineered, and I think every primary intersection in that section is already signalized. So other than making improvements in those signalized intersections, there won't be any additional lights installed, not along that corridor.
Councilwoman Brady.
Thank you. Mr. Jones, you had indicated that this is DeKalb Street or Markley Street you're talking about, but our ordinance says Lafayette Street. Could you clarify?
Hold on, let me see. Yeah, I was right the first time. I'm sorry. I was thinking it was Lafayette, but I thought I had gotten it wrong. But it is Lafayette.
So this is in relation to the improvements that are happening on Lafayette Street in preparation for those improvements?
This is Lafayette, beginning at the borders on the east end, all the way down to DeKalb, and any signalization that would be provided in that corridor.
So again, this is in regards to the improvements that are being made to Lafayette?
Absolutely,
okay.
Absolutely. That $85 million project.
Thank you very much.
Councilwoman Scott Cooper.
Yes. Will this document be on file for the remainder of the time of the renovations, or as long as you're a municipal administrator, or is it something that's done yearly?
This is actually the file document in perpetuity related to this project, so it won't have to be renewed again, because all of this is specifying our ownership of these lights and responsibility for these lights. And we've done lights, we've already done streets, along that corridor as well. So it basically puts on the record that we've agreed to take responsibility once the improvements are made, and this will always be maintained in our office as a part of the official record.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Councilwoman Brady.
Thank you. I apologize, I forgot to ask this question before. What kind of a financial impact is this on our budget?
Well, mainly other than adding to the cost, we pay for street lights now. So we pay for power to street lights and to signals now. and we also take care of maintenance of the signals now. So other than the maintenance that would be routinely required in terms of bulbs going out, signal issues as related to power outages, damages to a pole or something related to that, that's the cost. How we handle the cost now is through our liquid fuels budget, and this would just be another thing that it would be included in the liquid fuels allocation that we would bring to council every year at budget time.
Any other questions? Seeing none, would a member of council like to make a motion to approve Resolution TE 160? Madam Secretary, may I please have roll call?
Olivia Brady. Valerie Scott Cooper. Heather Lewis. Hakeem Jones. Derek Perry. Sonia Sanders.
Aye. Resolution TE 160 passes. The next order of business we have is from Code Enforcement. Mr. Simon, if you could walk us through the certificates of appropriateness for HARB.
Thank you, Madam President.
You're welcome.
The first certificate of appropriateness from the HARB Board from the July meeting is 1337 DeKalb Street. This application was to demolish a garage and install new columns. This one was granted by the HARB Board due to an economic hardship. Do you want to vote individually, or do you want me to go right through the end?
You could go right through the end.
Second HARB application was for 90 East Main Street, and this application was received to install 2 illuminated box wall signs. The third application was for 825 DeKalb Street, and this application was received to demolish the existing structure and retain and restore the front section of the building, preserving the streetscape. The fourth case was 710 Haas Street, and this was an application received to restore the front porch with the adjoining neighbor at 712 Haas. This would require new beams, columns, roofing, and gutters. The fifth case is 712 Haas, which is the corresponding property, and they are also an application to restore the front porch with the adjoining neighbor. The sixth case is 522 Hamilton Street, and this was an application received to replace 2 front basement windows. 226 West Spruce Street, application received to install a new front porch floor. And 41 West Spruce Street was an application received to install a concrete floor and some basement windows.
Thank you, Mr. Simonson. Would a member of council like to make a motion to approve the certificate of appropriateness for properties that applied for review by the Historical Architecture Review Board?
I have a question on the question.
Sorry, Councilwoman Brady.
Sorry. Thank you. I just had a little bit of additional information I'd like on 825 DeKalb Street. You had indicated that this is to raise the rear portion of the building and then maintain the facade. What provisions are in place to make sure that they don't demolish the entire building?
What the application for to HARB for 825 DeKalb Street was to remove the back portion of the building and keep the 3-story front structure 24 feet deep, 20 feet across.
Okay, so it's just the rear portion of the building, which appears to be of newer construction.
It is just the rear portion. Also with HARB, this is a recommendation. The contractor and his engineer would have to come in and apply for the permit and with plans, and it'd go through the code enforcement portion at that point too.
Great, thank you very much, and I second.
Thank you. With the motion being on the floor, all in favor? Any opposed? Hearing none, the ayes have it, and that motion is approved. Next order of business we have is public safety. Chief, if you could provide a brief summary on resolution number 16-136, please.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Excuse me, Madam President. This resolution is to establish disabled parking at designated locations: 214 West Freedley, 21 West Spruce, 1230 Linwood Avenue. The residents at these locations have physical limitations that these accommodations will help.
Thank you, Chief Talbot. Any questions? Would a member of council like to make a motion to approve resolution number 16-136 for disabled parking? Madam Secretary, may I please have roll call?
Olivia Brady, Valerie Scott Cooper, Heather Lewis, Hakeem Jones, Derek Perry, Sonia Sanders.
Aye. Resolution 16-136 passes. Before we adjourn tonight's meeting, it is with sorrow that Councilman Milner submitted his resignation. I actually met with him personally when he submitted his resignation on Saturday, and he will be missed, and for the passion that he has provided to the community and with his commitment of his past 7 years. We thank him and we appreciate him for his years of service. And in retrospect to that, we will be conducting letters of interest, resumes. Going forward, we will actually have the communication placed in the Times Herald. And from that process, interviews will occur. And then from the interview process, council will select that person, and then that person will be appointed to council at that time. Would a member of council like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting? All in favor? Meeting is adjourned.